Okay, part 3 to our segment here. What we're going to do is show you how to make a program so that way you can get certified real quick with our Yaskawa Motoman robot. So quickly, you would have the controller turned on to where it says on, where it's a red, and then you would also have this power supply turned on as well, where it's flipped up. Both of these are flipped up when they're on. Then your teach pendant, you've gone through that, you got that going. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a new program. So you go to job, and then we want create new job. Then you see that's highlighted. Sorry about the glare here. We got a lot of lights here, that's for sure. Then it's highlighted with all our black screen with those white little asterisks. So then we hit select, and then we have our keyboard after we hit the select button. So then all I want you to do is write your name, and then maybe your first initial in case there's two people with similar names. Excuse me. Then I hit press, I should say, enter. And then after I press enter, then I press execute over here, and if I got the glare, it will not let me see it. Okay, so then we have our NOP and end. Alright, so now all we got to do is enter some points, and what we're going to do is we're going to have it where it just moves the green block back and forth in a continuous loop. So we're going to have some points. We're going to call a program where I have a program already written that opens and closes the gripper, so you don't have to worry about digging through all that mess. And then, and most people do that when they get these robots. It's in the book of how to do that. And then have it where it does a jump label so it will run in continuous mode. So, without any further ado, the robot is set up there. The block is set here, so we're just going to move the block back and forth, well, without dropping it. Boom. So it's going to come over here, pick it up, bring it over here, bring it down, then come up, and then we'll let it come back down, tight, back and forth. Remember, it has to go straight over or crashes in at an angle and smashes these and makes for a big mess. So it's just sitting up there in the middle. That's okay. That can be our first point of the program, just so it's homed up there in the middle somewhere. So I can just press the enable key on the back and press enter, here on our little programming pendant. So I'm pressing that, and then I'll try to hit enter here. Okay, and then there's our first line of our program. Well, maybe it is, if this thing can focus today. Depends on where I am with these lights. Well, at any rate, the big thing here, though, is make sure you have it in, and I'll point make sure you have it right there, the coordinates where it's X, Y, Z. And then you want to have it in high. Remember the speed, there's H, there's M for medium, low, L for low, and then I for incremental for each little encoder, and it takes forever. We want it in high so we can do this quickly since there's 30 of us that have to get certified here. So remember, here's your fast and slow key to make it go. And of course you want to make sure your servo's on, so servo on ready should have been pressed, and you should be in the teach mode, not the play mode. We'll play it later after we run it, and when you play it you hit the start button. But you also have to hit the servo on ready again. Alright, but let's not worry about that. So we've got that written. Yeah, now you can see it. See, move J was in joint, place, okay. So now, we're going to watch this touch screen. Now we're going to do the next one. So now we're going to move it over. So I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. and you can watch the robot move. It's a little more exciting than listening to me. Alright, so I'm pressing in the enable switch in the back, and I'm going to move my robot over. I'll move it down a little bit. Move it this way. Move it this way. Just so I can center it up. It's centered that way on the Y. And then I look on the X. The X looks pretty good. I may have to rotate this a little. No, not that way. Maybe it's this way. There we go. Try to get that lined up. Alright, so we got that square on the money. Then we'll bring it down some more. And bring it down till it's about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom of the table. That way you get it. Because if we drop it, when you're dropping it, if you have a good grip on it and then you drop it when it's about 1/4 of an inch, you drop it too high up and the darn thing slides and it's crooked and everything else. So then we'll hit enter. That's our second key. Then we want to close the gripper. So to close the gripper manually, you press down the interlock key, which is on the left side, and it's kind of like pinkish purple there. Hold that down and then press 1 at the same time. There we go. But it doesn't write that in the program, so to write that in the program, let me pick this up. So in order to write that in the program, sorry about that. So there was our interlock key. And we hold that down the whole time and press 1. That's to open and close the gripper. Now for the other key, you would hit inform list. And when you press that, see it lights up, then you see this list on the side. And what we do there is we hit control. So we press control and then we hit call. Then it says down here, call job open gripper. Well, we don't want open gripper. We want closed gripper, right? Even though the gripper is closed on it, we did that manually, but to write it in the program. So what we do is we take our arrow key with our cursor and move that over till it highlights the open gripper. Then press the select key down here. Then you notice it comes up, there's open grip, but we want closed grip. So then we take our cursor, move it down to the next. See, these are programs that are already written. You can insert programs into programs. So we go close gripper, then we press the select, and then it's still not in your program yet, so then you press the enter key, or enter button, and there it is. But it's still got all this stuff on the side, so you have to come back to inform list and turn it off. That light comes off and see all that stuff's gone. If not, it's going to keep calling stuff in there. You don't want that. So there's our 3 lines of the program. So let's close the gripper. Now we can move it up. So I'll go back to just telling you what I'm doing here. Press the enable key, and then I should just go right up with the Z axis, Z plus, straight up. Then I press enter. Okay, then I got to move it over this way. So that should be our Y, negative. And then I get that lined up. Kind of looks centered. Maybe we'll see. Then we go with our X plus. That looks pretty good. And then we can hit enter. Then we want to go down with it, so we'll do our Z negative, but be careful to make sure it's lined up. And as you see, it's not exactly lined up, but we get about 1/4 of an inch, and then our Y negative, get it a little more centered. That's good. And then our X looks good, so that'll be another one. Boom, I'm done. Then what are we going to do here, do you think? We're going to open the gripper. So I will press the interlock, do it manually, hold that down, and do 1. And there. See, I could have gone a little lower. See how it kind of slid a little bit, but it'll grip it. So it's okay, but go a hair lower than. See, that was more like a 1/2 inch. So go about 1/4 of an inch. Then it won't slide around as much. All right. So then, now we got to put that in our program. So we do the inform list button, which is underneath the interlock button. It lights up with a little green light. We press the control button, press the call button, and move the cursor over one, and it's where it says close grip, because now we want open grip. Hit the select key, press our select key, and then with our cursor key, arrow, up arrow, I move it to open grip. I hit select, and then I hit enter. And then when I hit the enter button, see, now it's in there. And then again, to remove it, I press the inform list button, which is, you know, by your number pad where it has the number keys underneath the interlock key. And then now it's gone. So now we can move back to it. So now that we have that down, just to save time, then we're going to just close the gripper, move it back to where it was. So I'm going to go ahead and press my inform list. Well, I'll do the interlock key and close it again, but I want to see it open and close. See, it closes it, but now I got to actually write that in the program. So then I press the inform list, and then that list comes on the side here. After I pressed it, I hit control, and then I hit call, and then I use the cursor key here to move it over one, and I want it now on close gripper. So I hit select, and then I use our cursor key down one, up too much, select close grip, hit select, and then press the enter button. So we opened it, we closed it, and then I'm going to move it up. And then first I got to press the inform list key to turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. So now that it's closed, I'm going to press the enable switch, move it up on the Z+. There we go. And then save that point. Then move it over with the Y+. And you can even just leave it there and just say enter. Then coming down this way though, you want to make sure you got it right. So then we have to move our X a hair, X negative. And then let's check our Y on this side. It's a little too far, so we'll call Y negative sign. There we go, that looks good, at least from here. Then we'll do our Z negative. That's pretty good, that's a 1/4 of an inch away. And you see it's not centered, so I'll go Y negative a little. That looks better. And then that's good, so I'll press enter. And then I will release it, open the gripper, interlock one. Still moved a bunch. Boy, I had that pretty far down. Well, it just does that sometimes. Then, but I mean, it'll still grab it. We'll leave it crooked so you can see it'll still grab it. Then I need to write it on the thing. So I press the inform list key, control, call, and then we want open gripper. So then I go with my cursor over here, hit the select key, open gripper, select key, and then enter. And then that's in there. Now it's got open gripper. Then I go straight up just so I have a point of reference. And so press the enable switch Z+ and leave it there, and then press enter. And that, that should be the end of your program. So, make sure you turn your inform list on, because when I turned my inform list on and pressed enter to save my point, it did another open gripper. so I had to delete that. In order to delete a line, by the way, you just stay on that line, you press the delete key, it lights up, and press enter. And then it will delete the line that you want. So again, there's a delete key, insert modifier, all right next to the enter key. And they light up when they're active. They have the little green light on in the left corner. All right, so now I am good with my program. So my program, sorry about that, looks like this. So there's the open gripper, and then there was my movement up on the Z and then N. Now what I want to do is add a few things, the jump label, to make it repeat. So I go to, where is it, inform list, lights up there it is there, and then we'll hit control again, and then there's jump. So I want it to jump first at the end, so I press jump, and jump label is good, so I can select enter, and then enter. There, and then it says jump to the label. Now you could label those something if you got a bunch of these, call it to middle of program or whatever you want to call it, picking up, whatever. But since we just have one, we don't have to worry about it. So then we do our cursor key. Now you can go to the end and, oh wait, I'm still in this, so I got to get out of this. So I hit the inform list. Now I'm out of it. Now my cursor's working again for this. I press this, go one down one, go one more up, and it goes to the top. That way I don't have to go all the way up, with the up key. So it circles back around is what I'm saying. Circle back. Have we heard that before? All right, so at any rate, we're up there, and then we want to insert a line. So we go first to our inform list again, and it lights up, and there it is. And then we go to control, and then we had jump, so now we want label. We press label, and in order to insert that, we have to go here, the insert key, and enter. And boom, see I put it in there? If I don't do the insert enter, it gives me an error command. After you've already written it and you want to insert something, that's what you do. Again, the insert, enter. Or if you want to delete something, and then press enter to delete a line. Then modify. Let's say you've got your whole program, but the point, the robot's too high or too low. You can go back to right where that point is, and then click modify. Move your robot closer, or on that point. Change the point location, and then hit enter, and it'll modify that point for you, so you don't have to go and delete it, redo the whole darn thing. And that should be your program. And then let's see if it will run. So I will press it on, put it on play mode, I should say. So the key is turned to play. Then the other thing, remember, you have to turn the servo on, and you could hear it click, and then you hit the start button, and then hopefully this darn thing will run. Oh, now that was off too much of an angle. So I guess I need to get that straighter. But if that happens, again, you'll see that it'll have a problem here. But on the teach pen it says collision detect. You just hit reset, and then we should be able to run it again. So let's see what happens here. Okay, and then we'll see if we have to change that one